Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome to or welcome back to the Lovely Wolf Den. I'm Nadia, and today I'm going to be doing a review of sorts for Olivia Rodrigo's debut album, Sour. Whew, I am so excited, y'all. This is my first ever album review. I don't know how it's gonna go. I spent 3 to 4 hours yesterday writing out all my thoughts and a script and whatnot. So I'm pretty pumped. I knew I wanted this to be my first album review because it's her debut album, and I have been so obsessed with Olivia Rodrigo since she dropped Driver's License back in January. I have lots to say, many thoughts, and I can't wait to get into it. I tried to match the aesthetic a little bit with my shirt and look. Before we get into it, I wanted to preface a few things. Warning, opinions ahead. Number two, we're only human. Minds can change from one day to the next, especially when you listen to something over and over again. Majority of these songs, the thoughts I have now were not the thoughts that I had initially. I will be the first to recognize that I was really underwhelmed when I first listened to the album, mostly because she released the album on the same day as BTS dropped Butter. And we all know I am a BTS stan first before anything else, so my focus was there. So I didn't really put as much focus as I should on Sour. Anyway, so starting off with the first track of the album, Brutal. So, yeah, I am insanely obsessed with the symphony sounds that happen at the beginning of this. I think it's the perfect intro to an album. The fact that it started like this and then it transitioned into this kind of song, chef's kiss. So to first focus on the overall sound and instrumentation of it, I personally love that she is experimenting with this type of genre. I don't really want to put any labels on it because really, what is genre at this point? I hear people call it pop punk, rock, riot, and then I hear people that refuse to call it anything other than pop because, oh my god, she's a pop artist, so anything she does is pop. Really, I don't personally care. It sounds like pop punk to me, and I see it more as Riot Girl influence. And I say influence because the genre of Riot Girl is inherently racist and transphobic at its roots, so we don't claim it. But regardless of what you think it is, I think it sounds amazing. And I love it when artists experiment with different types of sounds, especially within one album. To refer to BTS, they are big on doing that. They'll have hip hop, pop, EDM, heavy rap all in one album. And I always love it because it just keeps things interesting and it pushes the boundaries on what an artist is capable of. So I love that she's doing it so early on in her career. Moving on to the lyrics because I have a lot to say here. First of all, I love that they included what I'm assuming is either a studio or writing session recording of her saying, I want it to be messy, because it just set up the tone of the song so perfectly. And personally, if it wasn't there, I would have not taken the song as seriously, and it might have come across a little bit cheesy to me. Okay, don't hate me for this, because I do not think like this anymore, but I need to be honest about how my thought process went. Initially, I didn't really vibe with the verse lyrics because it reminded me of that one Tramp Stamp song that was going around on TikTok when everyone was flaming them, that goes aliens are real and you're afraid of the dark because you should be. It just reminded me of that. You're trying so hard to do something, but really it's just coming across as just kind of corny. That is not how I think anymore. Trust me, it was an initial gut reaction, but the second thought that came after was much better. And having set up the song with the I want it to be messy just makes it out to be, yeah, I'm gonna rant about my teenage angst, and that's the point. It's gonna be reckless, and I love it now. And considering how much backlash Olivia gets for just existing and releasing music about her feelings and experiences, I think she has a right to talk like this. And it's brilliant. Shout out to the line, cause who am I if not exploited? Banger. I definitely think the strongest part of the song is the chorus. Here are the lyrics. All I did was try my best. This the kind of thanks I get. Unrelentlessly obsessed. They say these are the golden years, but I wish I could disappear. Ego crush is so severe. God, it's brutal out here. Oh my god. Okay. I get so fired up listening to this. I just feel like it sums up the teenage experience so perfectly, and not so much like early teenage years, like high school or whatever, like more towards the end of teenage years and even going into your 20s, because I always say the 20s are the teenage years of adulthood. But anyway, it's just so relatable because, oh my gosh, yes, older people always hold on to the saying youth is wasted on the young, but like no one wants to stop and ask why. It's like the second coming of like the formation of who you are, like the end of being a teenager and going into your 20s and young adulthood. So much aggressive change happens because you're thrust into the real world without much experience, depending on who you are. And imagine going through all of that in the spotlight, like how she's experiencing life right now. Like, that's just insane. So I think that that song portrays like these kinds of feelings beautifully. Finally, the last thing that I found amazing about this song is towards the end, how the beat and instrumentals kind of start to pull back, and then we switch back into that symphony. And so there's a kind of a tone shift happening, and then Olivia says, "Got a broken ego, broken heart, and God, I don't even know where to start." Wow, I'm sorry, but that's just incredible. Her career skyrocketed out of nowhere and so fast. So it's like, yeah, where do I go from here? I was just writing a song to process my feelings, and now the whole world is watching me and waiting to see what I'm gonna do next and is so invested in all my drama or like whatever. Like, yeah, where do you start? Where do I go with that? So I love it. Fantastic. Moving on. I spent so much time on that one song. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit so this video is not an hour. Track number 2, Traitor. Lots to unpack here. Okay, after listening to Traitor a few more times, I still think it was pretty bold to put it after Brutal, because we just opened up with so much angst, and then we're gonna pull it back to this like heartbreak ballad kind of thing, you know? For me personally, it was such a stark shift that it kind of took away from the impact that probably could have been there. Like the previous song, first I want to talk about the instrumentals. They were good, but I feel like they were on the weaker side as far as like ballads can go. Dan, sweetie, I feel like we could have put a little more time into this one. Like, it's not that it's awful, I just feel like it doesn't live up to the standard that Driver's License set for these kinds of songs. But that's just me. I was trying to figure out why this song was pulling so many people in. Like, I've been seeing it all over TikTok and so many people talking about it, and that's great. I just think for me, there's so many components in this song that already exist in Driver's License, Deja Vu, and Good For You. We have the initial heartbreak of someone leaving you, the fact that it was for another girl, and oh my gosh, you hurt me so bad and you don't even care about it. Those are just things that were already in existence as far as her discography goes. And aside from a few great lines here and there, I just feel like the lyrics didn't take me anywhere extremely new, and that might have been why for me it was a little underwhelming. However, I do need to talk about the lines that were great, because there is some small focus on kind of like the gaslighting factor to this relationship, and that's where the song could have been so much better for me. Like this line from the second pre-chorus, "Remember I brought her up and you told me I was paranoid?" This hit different, because girl, oh my gosh, have I been there. And so many people have probably been there. Also, the tagline of the song, "Guess you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor." That is brilliant in my opinion, because that right there kind of appeals to a very specific situation where the rules of partnership kind of get blurred. Like, no, you didn't cheat, but you kind of strung me along and gaslighted me whenever I voiced my concerns, and then you ended up proving me right in the end, and that kind of really sucks. But anyway, long story short, it is a solid song. It didn't really do much for me, but I can see why it does do it for a lot of people. And hey, next time it rains, if you catch me in my car blasting this song and crying, mind your business. Next up, the queen herself, Driver's License. So I already kind of gave my 2 cents on this song back when it came out in January in another video, so I'm gonna just play that clip at like a faster speed real quick, because none of my opinions have really changed that much.
And then the chorus hit. I just was already blown away by her voice, and I could tell that there was a lot of pain that was going into it, and I was like, ooh, this is totally right up my alley. But then she said the words, "And I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for someone." And immediately, chills just broke out all throughout my body. I could not believe how much power and control this girl has on her vocal abilities. The chorus and the lyrics in it are just so well written. I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for someone. And I just can't imagine how you could be so okay now that I'm gone. Though I could literally start crying right now. I just feel that. And it was in that moment when I realized why that song was so popular. It just encompasses a lot of pain that I feel like many people can relate to, especially the heartbreak of losing a first love, which is really clear throughout the song. And so that's my take, and in my case, like, why I think that song is so popular. Like, there's the hate train going on right now of people being like, oh, like, I don't care how bored I get, I'm never gonna listen to Driver's License. Like, here's your gold star for being edgy. Like, oh my god, it's so dumb. But adding her voice and the impact of the lyrics to a power ballad is just, literally, it is a cinematic experience. And the bridge, that chorus voices, the way it switches up. And every time I listen to it, I get the chills and I feel like crying because it's just so good.
So this song will probably from here on out hold a special place in my heart, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Next, track number 4, One Step Forward, 3 Steps Back. This song makes me feel the way I imagine other people feel when they listen to Traitor. And that's the beauty in releasing a lot of breakup songs. I'll talk about the negative sides later, but what's one person's cup of tea may not be for another, and like vice versa, you know? So this song to me has a much more clear and concise message and theme of what we're dealing with, and that is the exhausted cycle of constantly trying to make something work, but we never actually make any progress, and that hurts. Before I get more into this song, I gotta talk about how this song is an interpolation of Taylor Swift's song New Year's Day off of her Reputation album. And if you take a quick look at the song credits for this song, you will see that Miss Taylor Swift herself has writing credits. And can we just talk about that for a second?
I, as a fan, am extremely proud that Olivia Rodrigo got to work with the Taylor Swift, someone who is, like, she has been vocal about being one of her inspirations so early into her career. I have the chills. I literally have the chills. I am so proud of her for that, and I really hope that they work together again in the future because I know they can make some musical magic.
But anyway, instrumental-wise, like I said, it's an interpolation of New Year's Day, so it's basically the same. And what I like about it here is that it really sets the tone for the song. As it should. It's that soft-spoken, I'm trying really hard not to start another fight energy that this song has that really makes it stand out and that invokes such like a strong emotional reaction from me personally. And that's just the music vibe. The lyrics are an entirely different story. I could probably write an entire essay on why the lyrics of this song are so beautifully desolate, so I will try to keep it short. And I'm just gonna list my favorite lyrics of the song. So right off the bat, we have called you on the phone today just to ask how you were. All I did was speak normally. Somehow I still struck a nerve. An immediate punch in the gut. If you do not personally relate to this line, how does it feel to be the universe's favorite? Which lover will I get today? Will you walk me to the door or send me home crying? This is especially hurtful because it's like dark humor, like, haha, which lover will I get today? But you can just, oh my gosh, it's so painful. And then finally, and I'd leave you, but the roller coaster is all I've ever had, which is like an embodiment of the internal battle that you have when like, you know, oh my gosh, this really isn't good for me. But at the same time, it's all you know, so how can you leave, you know? And then to top it all off, the bridge. This bridge and the bridge from Driver's License, in my opinion, are some of the best out there. With this one, it's like I've already mentioned so much, just a battle of wanting to figure something out, but not wanting it to blow up and tear yourself apart in the process. This is such a fantastic song. Like I said, Olivia and Taylor need to work together again. Next up, number 5, Deja Vu. Again, I've already talked about this song a little bit, so I'm gonna put the clip sped up here and then I'll continue.
Olivia Rodrigo, my heartbreak queen, has returned with another banger of a song. It came out on April 1st, and if you know me and anything about my life, you know how incredibly, like, cosmically ironic that is. But anyway, I have absolutely nothing but good things to say about Olivia Rodrigo, so this song is really no exception. I loved it on the first listen, I love it now. What's so interesting to me about the sound and color of the style that she's developing for herself is that you can really hear her musical influences in her work so far. For instance, in this song, the instrumentals and kind of overall vibe of it is really reminiscent of Lorde. And that isn't to say that like Olivia is like ripping off Lorde's style or anything. It's to say that I love how like I can see where the inspiration is coming from and then how she's taking that and making it her own. And as for the vocals, it really reminds me of Taylor Swift circa 1989 or Lover era, especially in the bridge of the song where she shouts like, I know you get deja vu. I like instantly think of Cruel Summer when Taylor Swift is like, I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard? Oh, it's so good. It's just also beautiful and exciting to see such a strong up and coming artist find her sound and kind of morph her own tastes with her own style. I just love it for her so much.
To expand a little more, before this album was released and we only had Driver's License, Deja Vu, and Good For You, I always said that I really loved how she kind of tackled different aspects of a breakup within these 3 songs. Driver's License is the initial grief. Good For You is the rage and anger you feel when they are seemingly doing better than you are. Deja Vu is another very specific situation in that it's like the insult you feel when, to quote the song, you realize you were just a type. Kind of questioning the entire validity of the relationship and dealing with the slap in the face that you feel when what you thought was special actually wasn't. I also love how there isn't any hate directed towards the other woman in the song, in my opinion at least. Like there's a really fine line that she kind of teeters on the edge of crossing, but still does a very good job at not crossing within this song. And I personally like it. Some of her listeners need to understand that she's not crossing that line in the song. But anyway, if anything, I feel like this song is kind of apologetic to the other woman. She thinks it's special, but it's all reused. Like, that's kind of sad, you know? But anyway, I love this song a lot. So moving on to track number 6, Good For You. This song is the song Brutal, but about a breakup. Or I guess I should say that Brutal is good for you, but not about a breakup since it technically came out after. But anyway, when I first heard this song, I wanted to commit arson. It was the first time we had heard a song with this kind of vibe from her, and I am so glad we did, because now we have 2 songs with this kind of vibe, and I hope that there will be more in the future. She pulls off this style so incredibly well, like I need her to constantly receive recognition for her versatility. That is apparent so early in her career. Like I keep screaming about the same things, but I mean it. Just like Brutal, this song is angry, this song is frustrated, it gets me fired up, and I really don't have anything bad to say about it. I also think this music video was the best one out of the 3 music videos we have so far. It was so well directed, and yeah. Moving on to track number 7, Enough For You. So this is where I get a little more solid in my distaste for some things. I feel like this album could have gone without this song, because in my opinion, it does kind of cross the line that Deja Vu did so well in not crossing. I understand the direction that she was going in with the whole I lost myself in trying to be everything for you kind of deal. But the thing is, at this point in the album, we've already heard it and we've been here before. And that's kind of where the danger of having so many breakup songs can kind of come into play. Because yes, different people can enjoy different things, but it can also come across as getting repetitive and borderline milking it, you know? I like how there was a simplicity to the instrumentals, but the lyrics just really didn't hit the mark for me, especially how much she compares herself to the other girls. Sure, there could be an argument made that she's calling herself out and losing herself in that kind of dangerous, toxic mentality. Overall, and given how much better these types of feelings were articulated previously, it kind of comes across as pick-me energy, and we don't really want that. With the way the acoustics and the melody sounded, I would have loved to hear a song that kind of talks about finding the parts of yourself that you lost. Although I do recognize that she's probably not at that point in her journey yet, so she probably can't write a song like that. But if that's the case, then I feel even more that we could have done without this song in the album. If you do love this song, that's fantastic. Like, honestly, that's great. I would actually really love to hear why you love this song and like, let's talk about it, you know? It's just not really my vibe. Next up, track number 8, Happier. Okay, so I'm really confused on how I feel about this song, because on the one hand, I feel like it's not super great because, again, it's something that we've heard already. But on the other hand, I feel like it greatly taps into an aspect of sadness that is so overly emotional that it becomes irrational. The first time I listened to this song, I did not like it. I was like, the instrumental is amazing, but I do not like the lyrics. It's just not speaking to me. The second time I listened to it, I was like, oh my god, no, what was I thinking? This song is amazing. Like, conflicting thoughts going into my head right now. But every conflicting thought that I have about this song is all in relation to the lyrics. The instrumentals have nothing to do with that, because the instrumentals are actually something that I solidly enjoy. Anyway, once again, we are met with the they found a new girl aspect to the lyrics, and at this point it's just kind of frustrating because out of the 7 songs that we have heard up to this point, 5 of them mention that. Again, I will reiterate that I understand that it is a breakup album, so of course there are going to be times when themes are overlapping. But at this point in the album, I just feel like it's a bit of an exhausted concept. However, like I said, it does feel like a tap into the irrational side of grief. In the chorus, when she says, like, yeah, be happy, but don't be happier, I'm not gonna lie, that hurts. And these types of thoughts are really hard to admit to, especially in the second verse, where she talks about how she picks apart the new girl to make herself feel better, but in the end, like, it's not gonna make herself feel better because this girl, like, is probably great. Like, these are really ugly things that can happen after a breakup that no one really talks about in music. Like, I'm sure they do, but like at this point, the only other example that I can think of off the top of my head is Girl Crush by Little Big Town. So it's really hard because I can totally see myself like crying to this song at like 3 a.m. But at the same time, I can also like feel frustrated because in the album as a whole, it's just a little repetitive. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, as a standalone song, it's amazing, but when it's grouped together with all these other songs, it falls a little short. But yeah, like if someone were to ask me, do you like this song? I would just say yeah and not make it super complicated unless they want to discuss. But I just also wanted to voice like the other frustrations that I had because this is an album review after all. But anyway, moving on to track number 9, Jealousy, Jealousy. This is it. This is the song. Jealousy, Jealousy is currently at this point in time Olivia Rodrigo's best song, and I will accept no other arguments. No, but seriously, it is actually ridiculous how good this song is. Like, it is the song. So when listening to the album in order, this is technically the first song since Brutal that isn't a breakup song. So to start, there's that. Then this song isn't a boo-hoo, I'm not like her type of track. This song is an expansion and self-call-out on the internalized misogyny and competition that is instilled in women and heightened by social media. If you want to get super analytical about it anyway. Okay, so remember how in Enough For You, I had said that an argument could be made that she was calling herself out for like the dangerous toxic mentality, but it could have been done better? This is her doing it better. This is becoming self-aware about the toxic mindset that social media can impose on young people. It's kind of hard because the more I like a song, the harder it is for me to articulate my thoughts and feelings for it. But yeah, Miss Olivia and the other people that have writing credits, you really did it with this song. Moving on to number 10, Favorite Crime. This song just kind of reaffirms my belief that Enough For You just shouldn't have made the final cut, because this song literally has the same theme of I gave it all for you and you left me with nothing, but it was done so much better. And the reason that I feel this way is because in this song, she experiments with wordplay and storytelling a lot more. I'm so glad that she did that for this song because I just know this girl is gonna be an amazing songwriter. Like, we as a society need to look out for her because she, right before our eyes, is going to become a phenomenal songwriter. Like, I can just feel it. And I have pretty high standards when it comes to stuff like this because, in my opinion, the greatest songwriters of our times at the moment are Kim Namjoon and Taylor Swift. Obviously, that is a subjective thing, and if you disagree, that's fine. In my opinion, this is how I feel. But anyway, I always say that Taylor is unmatched when it comes to storytelling, and Namjoon is definitely an expert in the wordplay department. Like, homeboy can do double and triple entendres in a single rap verse. So anyway, I have pretty high standards for stuff like this. And Olivia really came out and did that. Like, I can't even be extremely upset that it's another breakup song because of the fact that she got so experimental with her songwriting. Yeah, I know that, like, her and Dan, like, they work together or whatever, but I stan Olivia. Finally, the last song, track number 11, Hope You're Okay. I wish I could have gotten a recording of my face when I first listened to this song. Again, like I said, the more I like something, the harder it is for me to talk about it because I'm just so like, it's amazing. I totally thought it was gonna be a despite everything, I hope you're doing okay kind of song. But wow, was I totally proven wrong. When it started, I just remember thinking, oh yeah, this is totally an ending song. Whoa, wait, what did she say? Like, that's literally how it went. I don't know where Olivia, or if Olivia, lies on the spectrum, but the fact that, like, she made this song, this is like the type of ally song that I want to see. There is no queer baiting going on. It simply alludes to these types of experiences that queer people in the community can go through and just showing nothing but love and support for them. As someone who is a part of the community, I just need to say thank you to Olivia for creating a song like this. Like, it means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means like the world to countless other people. And it is definitely a true testament to her capabilities as an artist. And it just makes me 10 times more excited to see where she's gonna go in her career for the future. Like I said earlier, it's definitely the perfect ending song. The, like, do you know how proud I am that you were created lyrics? Like that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. I could start crying right now, but I'm not. But that brings us the end to this album review. Overall, I think it is a very solid debut album. Whatever PR team she has, brilliant. Like, I'm sure they weren't expecting Driver's License to have as much impact as it did. So I'm glad that they took that and ran. Like, from a marketing standpoint, I know nothing about business or marketing, but from a marketing standpoint, I can imagine that they played it off really well. Like, taking the hype from Driver's License, releasing Deja Vu at the time that they did, and then announcing the album, and then having that surprise like release of Good For You. It really, really brought up the hype for the album. Like, Olivia is out here breaking records and making waves. Like, when I first listened to the album, I was like, yeah, it's not groundbreaking, but like, it's great. And I do still kind of think that, but the fact that it has accomplished as much as it has as a debut album, that's groundbreaking. Like, the traction and momentum that Olivia has built for herself is incredible. So amazing to see. I am proud to call myself a fan of hers, and I just recommend listening to it if you haven't already and forming your own opinions on it. Yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching another Lovely Wolf video. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. Comment down below anything you'd like to see any of the Lovely Wolf creators do, and if you'd like more content from us, join our Patreon. The link will be in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Catch y'all later.